Welcome to Age of the Angles. This is a great application to help reinforce concepts of angles and angle estimation. There are two modes, practice and play. Let's start off with the practice mode. We click practice. And you see here we have a protractor, and our job is to try to figure out the measure of this angle. Now this protractor I can drag around. Obviously I'm going to have to rotate it. So I use this little I just click and drag on the rotate button. If I have an iPad I just touch and drag, and I try to line this up right in the vertex of the angle. So right about, we want to line this up as exactly with the protractor as possible. And then I know this is an obtuse angle, so this looks to be about 105 degrees. So all I do is type in angle 105. Let's see if maybe I'm off by one angle. Let's see. Now I'm exactly right. So then click next. Okay, so I have an even more obtuse angle now. And so I need to rotate my protractor a little bit. Rotate it so it looks to be about where I want it to be, and this time it looks like it's right on 149 degrees. So I type in 149, check, and correct again. And then I click next, and now I have an even more obtuse angle. So I'll get obtuse and acute angles to come up. And then I rotate. Okay, so I line it up, and looks like we're at 163. So I type in 163. And this time I was 1 degree too high. So I might not have lined it up perfectly. So from 1 degree too high, it's obviously 162. So I click check. I'm correct. Okay, now I want to show you the play mode. There are 6 total protractor problems in the practice mode. So now I'm going to start this over again, and this time I'm going to click play, and this is a lot of fun. Okay, so my job now is to estimate the angle measure of this angle. I have 100 measure points to play with, and the object is to get as many angles as possible. If I'm within 5 degrees of the correct measure, I get a green star. So I want to accumulate as many green stars and as many angles as possible. So I look at this, and this looks like, it's hard to get them exactly right, but knowing this is an obtuse angle, it's greater than 90 degrees, let's go with 110. So I was 3 degrees too low, so it's actually 113. But that's a good guess. And you see, I still have 97 measure points, and I got my green star. I think my record so far is getting 20 angles. So this one looks to be almost about half of a 90-degree angle, maybe a little more. Let's go with 51. Click check. 5 degrees too low, so it was 56, but still a good guess. I got my second green star, and I still have 92 measure points to play with. I have 2 angles. This looks very close to a 90-degree angle. I'd say, let's go with 87. Click check. 2 degrees too high, so it was 85. But I'm doing great. I have all 3 green stars and 90 measure points. 3 angles. Now, this one's a small angle. I'm going to go 28. Click check. 3 degrees too high, so it was 25. But still, I have 4 angles, 87 measure points, and I've gotten all 4 green stars. So here, this looks like a little bit more than 90 degrees of 2, so let's go with 103. Click check. I was only 4 degrees too high, so it was 99 degrees, but I have 5 angles, 83 measure points left. So that means, as long, I can accumulate as many angles as possible as long as I'm not 83 degrees off. So now I have 5 green stars. Let's do a couple more. This is an acute angle. Let's go with 65 degrees. Only 1 degree too high. It was 64. This one looks just about 94 degrees to me. Exactly right. So I have 7 angles and 82 measure points. This one looks pretty close to 90. Let's go with 91. And it was exactly 92. So every one I've done so far, I've gotten a green star. What happens if I don't get a green star? Okay, so this, let's say this looks about 35 degrees to me, but let's say I'm off. Let's say I go 65. And it was 36 degrees too high, so I still accumulate an angle, but I do not get a green star, and I only have 45 measure points. Again, the object is to get as many angles as possible with your 100 measure points. My record is 20 or 21, I think. Anyway, this is how you play Age of the Angles.